How much is your web design agency worth? That can be a big question. Valuing any business can be hard, and it's often more subjective than objective. But in this video, I'm going to share 5 things that can have a huge impact on how much your web design agency could be worth if you're looking to sell. Hi, thanks for joining. If you're new to this channel, I'm Rich Dean, a web designer and developer, former web agency owner, and author of the book series Start, Grow and Sell Your Web Design Agency. My goal is to help anyone looking to start, grow and sell an agency to save time, earn more money, avoid the common mistakes and pitfalls, and build a thriving and valuable business. Okay, so let's get into the main topic, starting with one of the most obvious. Number 1, revenue and profit. So you probably already know this, but how much money your agency makes can have a direct impact on how attractive it is and therefore how much it could be worth. Put simply, a business that makes more money is usually more valuable. So an agency that makes 1 million a year will usually be more attractive than one that makes, say, 500,000 and so on. However, although revenues are usually one of the first things that potential buyers look at, high revenues on their own won't make a business attractive if they're also not accompanied by healthy profit margins. There's a saying in business, turnover is vanity, profit is sanity. So that same agency that makes 1 million a year may be more attractive on first impressions, but if it only makes profits of say 50k or 5%, while that 500,000 agency makes 100k profit or 20%, then that smaller agency will be worth more as it's more profitable. It's not only making more actual profit, but it's also higher as a percentage. So the lesson here is growing revenues is good, but not if it means sacrificing healthy profits. Number 2, a strong brand. So when we think of big, successful, valuable businesses like McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Apple, or Nike, they all have one thing in common, which is a strong brand. There's an important reason for this, and it's brand recognition. Put simply, human beings are creatures of habit and comfort. If we want something, we're much more likely to go for something that we remember rather than trying to find something new. So having a strong brand is one of the most effective ways to stay front and center in people's minds when they come to buy something. So when we think of fast food, chances are we think of McDonald's first because it has the strongest brand in that market. In fact, I would say that McDonald's brand is perhaps just as important as the products that it sells when it comes to people choosing to buy from them. That same principle will apply to your web agency. The stronger your brand, the higher chance that new and existing clients will think of you when they want a new website, which will give you a higher chance of winning new business and therefore making more money. This can make your business more attractive to potential buyers as they won't need to invest as much in market penetration and getting the brand out there to drive new business. How much value a strong brand adds can be hard to quantify though, and defining what a strong brand is can also be quite difficult. But if you're trying to understand whether your agency has a strong brand, then there is a little test that you can do. First, think of a business that you think has a strong brand and ask yourself, what is it that makes that business memorable for you? So, for example, when I think of McDonald's, I think of red and yellow, the golden arches, the pictures of the food, the songs from their adverts, how their restaurants are decorated, and even the uniforms that their staff wear. What's also interesting is that when I think of McDonald's, I also start to feel a bit hungry. I wonder if that's intentional or just a coincidence. Try doing the same for a brand that you really like, and really think about all the touch points and the elements of that brand that makes it memorable for you. Once you've done that, ask someone outside of your agency what they imagine when they think of your brand. If they can articulate what it is that they remember, then this could be a good sign that you have a strong brand. But if they can't think of anything that makes your brand memorable, then you may need to work on this before you come to sell. Just before we go any further, please don't forget to like and subscribe as this really helps us out. And if you want even more advanced information on how to grow and sell your business, check out my book series Start, Grow and Sell Your Web Design Agency, which you can buy on Amazon now, and I'll share a link in the description below. Number 3, systems and processes. Okay, so the topic of systems and processes is huge and far beyond the scope of this video, but the benefits are well known. Again, if we think about a business like McDonald's, one of the main reasons why they've been so successful is because the business is almost entirely built around systems and processes. And I know this pretty well as I worked for McDonald's when I was a student. If you've ever seen the film The Founder, with that scene where they're working out how the kitchen should work, it's a lot like that. Everything is perfectly orchestrated and choreographed. It just works, and it can be repeated over and over again. Systems and processes are great at improving things like efficiency, profitability, saving time, and keeping costs down, but they're also crucial for one other very important factor, which is consistency. And if you don't know why this is important, think back again to McDonald's. There's a reason why you can go into a McDonald's in London and order a Big Mac, and it will taste exactly the same as if you ordered it in New York or Sydney or Shanghai or Tokyo or anywhere else in the world. And it's because McDonald's have locked down every aspect of how that Big Mac is made into systems and processes. Everything from the ingredients that are used, what quantities, how long they're cooked for, it's all locked down so that it can be repeated exactly the same every single time. This means that if you go into McDonald's today, you haven't got to worry about whether that Big Mac will taste the same as it did the last time you ate one, or whether it will taste the same the next time. Regardless of whether you like McDonald's food or not, you can't argue that what you expect will be the same every single time. But can you say the same for your web design agency? Can your clients expect consistent results every time they work with you? Or is there an element of chaos or unpredictability? Now, I know that web design agencies are not the same as fast food restaurants, and you can't turn every aspect into systems and processes in the same way, especially the more creative parts, but there are still plenty of areas that you can systematize, especially tasks that you find yourself doing repeatedly or things that can be done by anyone. And I know this is true because when I ran my web design agency, I systematized a lot, so I know that it can be done. Think modules, components, prototypes, things that could be taken from one project, packaged up, and then reused on other projects over and over again. Even processes that can help your team do the same things repeatedly and, more importantly, consistently. You shouldn't be reinventing the wheel every time you do something, especially if it's something that you do over and over again. The reason this is important when it comes to selling your business is because potential buyers will quite rightly want to know how easily it could scale and how dependent or reliant it is on certain individuals, even you. If your business relies on the talent, skills, expertise, or experience of certain people for it to function, then this is a huge risk and it could affect how much your business is worth and how easy it will be to sell. Your buyers will ask questions like, what happens if one of those people leaves? What happens to you if you want to leave once you sold the business? How easily can the business scale if new people are brought on and need to do the same work? Will your business pass the bus test, i.e. what happens if a key person is hit by a bus? Now, that may sound extreme, but the point is, the more dependent your agency is on certain people, or the more the same things need to be done from scratch every single time, the more risk there is that the business may not better function if those people leave. But if you have good systems and processes in place, and you can demonstrate that if anyone leaves, someone new could come in and be able to do the same work to the same consistency and quality because of your systems, then that can make your business much more attractive and valuable. Number 4, ongoing versus one-off projects. So this is one area that can be a challenge for many web agencies, but businesses that have a high volume of ongoing or repeat business are usually more attractive than those that only do one-off projects. The reason for this should be fairly obvious. If a buyer is weighing up whether to buy a business, if it can see that that business has long-term work, i.e. projects or contracts that are booked in for months or even years ahead, it means that business will be more financially stable and more likely to make money. But if a business has to rely on always finding new projects, and so it only ever has a few weeks of work booked in at any one time, then this means the business could be less stable and more at risk if work suddenly dries up. This can be a challenge for most web agencies. New websites tend to be one-off projects, as most clients only renew their website once every few years. And most of the time, once that new website is finished, that's usually it. So web design agencies can often find themselves on this hamster wheel of constantly needing to find new projects. But if you can find or create ways to secure more regular or ongoing long-term work, then this could make your agency more valuable when you come to sell it. Perhaps you can offer complementary ongoing services like marketing, SEO, or hosting. Perhaps you could focus on bigger website projects that require constant work like maintenance, conversion rate optimization, or ongoing user testing or improvements. Perhaps you could structure your payment plans so that instead of clients paying for their websites in one lump, they rent the websites and pay you on an ongoing monthly fee. Basically, the more you can demonstrate that your agency has a high volume of longer-term, ongoing work, the more this can add to its value. Number 5, business owner dependency. So, plenty of people choose to run their agencies as freelancers or solopreneurs, and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's how I first started, and it's what I've gone back to now that I've sold my web agency. Also, employing people is a big decision, and it's not something that everyone wants to do. However, when it comes to selling a web design agency, or any business for that matter, how dependent the business is on its owner can have a huge impact on its value. This is something that I specifically talk about in book 3 Sell in my book series Start, Grow and Sell Your Web Design Agency. And it's something I call the scale of business owner dependency. Put simply, every business will fall somewhere on this scale. At one end, you have a business that is totally dependent on its owner. Basically, the owner is the business. And in this situation, the owner does everything. Sales and marketing, admin and finance, delivering what the website does, i.e. designing and delivering the websites. They do everything. At the other end of the scale, you have a business that can run itself without any involvement from the owner at all. There will be systems and processes in place, advanced use of technology and automation, and usually a team in place to deliver the work. Most businesses fall somewhere within this scale. They may have some systems and processes, some automation, and a team that fulfills some of the roles, with perhaps a business owner being involved in just a few areas. It can actually be quite hard to achieve a business that is right the way over on the fully automated and independent end. But if it's just you and your business and you handle everything yourself, then this could make it less attractive and therefore less valuable. Like the last section, the main reason for this is that potential buyers will ask how the business would function if you're no longer around. How will the work get done if only you can do it? Will your clients stick around if they're used to working with you? How will the business attract new clients if the whole brand and reputation is based on you personally? It doesn't mean that solo businesses can't be sold, plenty of them are, but they may not be worth as much to a buyer as a business that is self-sufficient and can be handed over and run without the owner being present at all. So, hopefully this video has helped you find ways to make your web agency more attractive and valuable. If you've enjoyed it, then please don't forget to like and subscribe, as this really helps us out. And as I mentioned earlier, I also discuss this and many other topics in my book series Start, Grow and Sell Your Web Design Agency, which you can purchase from Amazon now, and I'll share a link in the description below. And if you'd like to watch more informative content, then why not try this video here. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.